Now we know what the 5 main issues are in finance presentations. There is no clear message out of the presentation. The presentation is not tailored to the audience. There is no use of narrative for the finance presentation. The visuals and the slides are too crowded. And finally, there's a lack of preparation for the delivery itself. If we know what the problems are, we know where to attack in order to improve them. This is how I got the idea of the S.T.O.R.Y framework. S.T.O.R.Y, S for select your message, T for target your audience, O for organize your thoughts, R for review your visuals, and Y for yield to questions. We are going to see each of these letters one by one. Select your message. This is one of the main issues for finance professionals. It's true that we have a lot of data to analyze, and generally, when we find something, we want to communicate it. But the thing is, not everything is important and not everything must be communicated. We have to choose what to say, and choosing is refusing. So think well of what you are going to communicate to the audience. And there are 3 tips you can follow in order to know what to communicate. The first is that what you say must be an insight. The insight is something that's against our general thoughts of the topic we are going to discuss. So something unknown, something new, or something that's going to disprove a general hypothesis of the matter. The second point is that what you say must be material, important, and actionable. The third point will be then that you have to think in groups of information. A good method too is to use the PVM, the price volume mix analysis, so that it helps you gather your thoughts in another format. Target your audience. I know it's repeated over and over again, but in my experience and according to the interviews I've had with many senior finance leaders, this is something that's not done. We have our analysis, we prepare our presentation for the monthly results or the budget, and we simply distribute it or present it to different audiences without changing anything. But the thing is, if you want it to have an impact, you have to adapt it to the audience. You are not going to present it the same way in a marketing department to senior people and to more junior people, to the exco. So you have to think about it. And a good method to do that is to ask yourself 4 main questions. Who is going to be the target? So you have to think about who your main message will be directed to. You also have the when. That means that what you are going to say is going to be more urgent for some people than others. You also have the what. What do people know about the topic you are going to develop in your presentation? And then you have the how. How is their favorite delivery? Do they prefer discussion? Do they prefer a report, a mail, a presentation? Knowing all of that, you will have to adapt your delivery according to that. One good way to simplify it is, first, who is the most senior person in the room? And secondly, who is going to be criticized when people know what you are going to say? Those are the 2 main points you have to think about when targeting your audience. Organize your thoughts. Generally, finance presentations follow a logical and linear order, the one of the P&L, for example. But this is no story, this is no narrative. People need to have a structure that makes them think and get at the same time the emotion necessary to remember the message and also want to act on it. There are many methods, but the one I consider the most appropriate, because flexible, is the 3 what. The what, so what, and now what. Thanks to these 3 items, you are going to be able to explain your observations, you are going to be able to tell the audience the impact and why it matters to them, and you are also able to think about the next steps. This is why I find it the most appropriate. Another point is also that thanks to that, in these 3 frames, you are going to be able to adapt it according to the audience. For example, a more senior audience will need the conclusion before the bottom line upfront. So follow this and your thoughts will be better organized and you will know what to talk about. Review your visuals. You can give a presentation without slides, but let's be honest, it's much better with them if you want your audience to remember the message and participate to it, because we definitely have complex data too. The thing is, with slides as they are today, it's more a challenge than a help. And don't forget, your slides must not be reports, but they must be something that helps you and your audience get the message faster, easily, and also remember it. So to do that, you have to learn some simple design principle, learn to master PowerPoint, and also to declutter your graphs and add as little text as possible so that you remain the main point of attention during the presentation. Yield to questions. Before delivering your presentation, you must prepare for questions, because there are going to be questions for sure. You cannot avoid it. Some easy questions, some others that are more difficult. What I would advise is that for each information, for each insight that you are going to present, prepare 10 slides of backup. I don't especially mean to build the slides, but you have to think about 10 angles of questions that are going to arise for each information or insight you bring. And for more difficult questions, if you don't have the answer, you have to know how to react, especially in front of difficult people. That's also the moment in which you have to train for your delivery self. You have to practice and learn public speaking, body language. Those are important in case you want to deliver a great presentation. Also, there are possibilities to deliver them digitally, and the behavior is totally different but has some common grounds with a physical presentation. So that's it. This story framework is the starting point to improve substantially the financial storytelling of your next monthly result presentation.
You want to dive deeper and master financial storytelling for your next budget presentation? The enrollment for my course will start soon. Stay tuned, I will give more information soon.